Picture this. You've lost the most important person in your life to cancer, and even as time wears on, you struggle to come to terms with it. Sure, you talk to people about it, but that doesn't help. They say it gets easier with time. They're wrong. You feel this massive sense of injustice in the world, and it eats away at you day after day for 4 years. One day though, you have an idea. You feel you need to make sure their name is never forgotten. It's the very least they deserve. So you decide you want to push yourself outside of your comfort zone and set yourself challenges, ever increasing in difficulty. All this in a bid to fundraise in their memory, and it helps. It empowers you, in fact. Well, this is my life and the start of my fundraising story, and it begins with an Ironman 70.3.
Right, so an Ironman 70.3, what is it? Well, it's basically called the 70.3 because you're doing 70.3 miles in the style of a triathlon. So you're going to start off with a 1.9 kilometers swim, 90 kilometers cycle, and then just as you think the energy levels are depleted, you're feeling defeated, you then run a half marathon. I'm running this Ironman for a bit of a reason close to my heart, really. It's because on February 9th, 2020, my dad passed away from pancreatic cancer. It's something that has troubled me ever since, and I feel like this is a great way for me to try and give back to the people who have helped, and also just trying to make sure other people aren't going through the same bit.
And so I had to train from complete scratch. I'd never cycled, never done long distance running, and my only swimming experience is swimming from one side of the pool to the pool bar at the other side in order to get myself a margarita, which hardly qualifies. Training was hard at first, but as I became more familiar with the disciplines, I started to enjoy it, and the weight dropped off me as I went from 97 kilograms to a mere 84 by race day.
Running and training in health zones, I feel like it's not very suitable training for Ironman, especially in Valencia, but no days off. We've got to get it in. Vamos!
Less than 2 weeks to go. Could be worse. Beautiful scenery. Just me and some tarmac being stomped, as the hardest geezer would say. Just gotta keep stomping. It's Monday today, in less than 2 weeks now. It'll all be over, so I'm gonna try and get a long run in today, 15, 20k maybe. And then one final big run at the weekend, and cycle and then run, just to work on that transition. And in the meantime, I'm just gonna be swimming in a pool. So yeah, coming along nicely. Feeling quite good, to be honest. Feel like it's dialing in nicely. Let's go, vamos! Eventually the day had come to hit the skies, and this is Lawrence, my friend I'll be running the Ironman with. We flew out on the Friday with the race being on the Sunday. Unfortunately, due to a Ryanair flight change from the red eye to the afternoon, it meant we arrived late on Friday night and only had the Saturday to reassemble our bikes, do our check-in to the race, and also drop our transition bags. As a result, when putting our bikes back together, we needed the reassembly to run smoothly, but of course, it didn't. We initially had issues with Lawrence's derailleur and a twisted chain, but thankfully this was easy enough to resolve. On the other hand, I put my bike back together in good time, only to discover that whilst the gears at the back were shifting fine, the front gears were not. We did initially try to fix it ourselves for a while, but being a Saturday, we had to make the call to try and get a bike shop to fix it before they all closed. We unsuccessfully spent the afternoon driving and cycling around Valencia looking for a shop that could help until we visited the Ironman village, and thankfully, there was a team there who could help. After a few hours, the bike was fixed, a big relief, which just left the bike and bag drops to be done. Alright, so we just started. You want to be cleating over there, but what are you saying, Lawrence?
Well, our bike rack's right down the end, so you've got to get off your bike, do a 300 metre dash in cleats.
In cleats, clicking away.
That's just adding
So we're 2521 and 2519.
300 racks down, mate.
300 racks down in cleats.
2519.
Right, yeah, so we need to remember this. We're going to be down the end again, aren't we? Yeah. Oh, yeah, literally the same. That's alright. Imagine if the hooks were already taken. Happy days. Shut that on there. Both of them. Voila! 3, 4, 2, 1. Let's go!
So we're thinking we got this quite sweet at this transition here. Looks like we swim out there. I'm in and my bag's literally right here. Just sweet. Alright, there's all the change rooms down there. Yeah, not the benches. And then look at the amount of bikes we have here. And there's some serious kit here. My £400 bike is right in the far corner, which is where you have to leave with the bike. So we do have to run with our cleats, don't we? We have to run with our cleats all the way down there. Other than that, we're good. Let's go! Let's go! Yeah, so we missed the briefing in our stretch, so we're doing our own little briefing. Looks like we start over down there, sort of like segregated area. We swim out, left, go out and towards the ocean area a bit, come back, swim down here, run up here, and then yeah, dive in there, and that's literally where our change room is, and then all the way down the other end is where the bike is. Vamos! Let's go! Lawrence is just doing a numero dos. Got them out of the system, got mine out. Yeah, tried to prompt it, double shot coffee, triple shot coffee. It's done the job, but now I feel fucking alive. Got a pasta over down here. Just absolutely nomming it. We do have music on as well, but can't get copyright, can we?
No.
Come on! Sparta!
Feeling pumped?
Yeah, man. The adrenaline is high and the caffeine is in me. Let's get ready to rumble!
So what do we have in this pasta?
It's just pasta and salt. It's a bit grim, to be honest. It's reboiled.
Oh gosh. Alright, take me through your equipment.
Equipment, right.
Yeah.
So, to be fair, most of the stuff we've already dropped off, like our bike bags and that.
Mm-hmm.
But for the swim, we've just got literally goggles to get given a cap by Ironman. So this is like orange cap just puts us in like a certain category. Got our goggles and the swimsuit we put on when we're there. That's literally it. So pretty chilled. Ben's trying to navigate behind you. That's a marathon runner out there. All right, gang. Ironman morning. Here we go. Here we go. What do you think of my tri-suit? Leave it up to the imagination, or?
It's doing what it needs to do. It's doing what it needs to do, but you know, I know there's a lot of aerodynamics.
Oh, Vaseline, that was an important part of it. Vaseline the nips. Vaseline all around here. We're absolutely lathered, aren't we? And there's the other man. There's my guy. Oh, you have Vaseline in there. Got a bit more than
Not Vaseline. Switch that on the way in. I've got my yellow bag at the front.
He's in it, yeah?
Cool. You got everything you need in there, Alex?
Yeah. Mate, your inhaler's in the car, yeah?
Yeah.
I'll put your foot chair forward to the seat back. Once you're done, it's yellow.
We're gonna go in and drop our stuff off at the bike.
Okay.
Get our wetsuits on.
Where should we meet?
Right around here. Yeah, do that.
Alright, see you in a bit. Good luck.
couple of days later with the medals. We thought we'd just talk to you a little bit about the actual day itself. So we got over there, which again you'll have seen on like the drone footage, which was awesome. We had to queue and like you kind of self-seed yourself on how quick you think you're going to swim, which seemed to work okay. I mean, we put ourselves in the 45-minute section.
Yeah, for the casuals.
Yeah, we went for the casuals. There's like people doing like 20 minutes, 30 minutes, and we're in the second last group. And we sort of had the whole sort of discussion before, because in my training beforehand, I was sort of getting 43 minutes, that sort of area.
You're quicker than me.
Yeah, I was quicker than Lawrence in practice.
Yeah.
And then it came to the actual day, Lawrence was like, yeah, I'm going to be right on your heels, I'm just going to be following you the whole way around. Cut to the actual take. Bomb into the water. He's like a couple meters ahead of me. He looks towards me and thinks, yeah, nah, not happening. Just swims off into the distance.
Race mode. Yeah. Immediately activated. I was like, fuck this.
Full race mode. Just went right off.
Absolutely send it.
Went off into the distance. Didn't see you until like kilometre 60 of the cycle or something like that.
Yeah.
But then we had the controversial bit. You might be able to show this, Aaron, actually. Just behind us here is the bit of getting out the water. And it's not like you'd imagine in any of the other ones on the beach where you just sort of walk up onto sort of concrete and you carry on. We actually had to get pulled out of here, and I saw so many people struggling to stand up after.
Yeah. It's wasted, like you're swimming and you're bobbing up at chest high, and that's where the floor is.
Yeah. Well, people, you had some little guy trying to pull you out at first, didn't you?
I'm not the lightest man, and he was the lightest man. And you just saw the fear in his eyes that I was just about to take us back straight in.
Yank him in. Get him, boy.
But, yeah.
No, I mean, you must have been like a good, what was your, 43 minutes?
Yeah, around that.
I was 52, so you're 9 minutes ahead of me going into that. I mean, by the time I went into the transition, I mean, I looked out once I got out of the water, there was only like 50 people still in the water, so my swim was awful, definitely what I need to work on. But yeah, you were completely gone, no one was there.
Already out the wetsuit. I was at this point picturing gold medals, silver medals. I didn't think I'd have just this one around my neck at that point. I was saying great.
You thought you were Leo for the day, didn't you? Leo, who won the race, the very first edition. This is in Valencia. It's never been in Valencia before. And then this is where my transition won, because I was so like bewildered by how slow my swim was. I was a bit shocked. Like generally people were just overtaking me the whole way through the swim. And then we got in there and started panicking, and quickly got my wetsuit off, got everything on. Then I needed the toilet, so I went to the toilet. At that point I realised I forgot my sunglasses, so I ran back for my sunglasses, and then just in the heat of the moment, I've left my inhaler, and I've left my sun cream as well, which proved to be quite bad. I mean, I've got pretty bad burns on my back now from the cycle and the run. But the main thing was actually the inhaler, to be honest. And the bike was absolutely flawless the whole way around, to be fair. I mean, clearly. Yeah, I mean, that's where I sort of came into my own a little bit, to be fair.
Mate, overtaking the canyons and then overtaking me.
Yeah, I remember there was sort of a bit where there's a really steep incline right up into the top of town, and then it's really, really steep, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's pretty brutal. Like, it's like 300-metre incline in about sort of 5-10 minutes of cycling, that sort of area. And I was just about to start and you just come down it. Yeah. So we figured we're about 10 minutes apart.
Yeah, we were.
And I remember just thinking, not a chance I'm seeing you for the rest of the race, pretty much.
I remember thinking the same thing. I thought the same thing.
But then it gets to about it must have been about 60k.
Yeah, it's about 30k to go.
I remember I was just sort of in my own zone, just pedalling away. It seemed like I only had 3 people overtake me the whole time. And it just seemed like a red sea of just like cyclists just parting their way, just me bombing through. It was really, really smooth. I was really surprised by it. And I remember just seeing like a tag number on the back of a bike, and I wasn't even looking at many. I saw like 251. I was like, it kind of looks like Lawrence, isn't it? Oh, Lawrence! I was like, and your reaction to me, Alex?
Mate, I knew that my energy was sapping. I'd been fueling, but ultimately the day before we hadn't been fueling.
No, it was
barely
quite a stressful
slept.
day, wasn't it?
I hadn't trained well enough, and the painful bit is you've been overtaking people and you're starting to see people come back and overtake you. I was like, all right, I know my average is dropping, but emotionally I wasn't ready to. And you were like, follow behind. And I was like, yeah, man.
I'm like, come on, man, come on.
Fucking disappeared. I was like, right, okay, I guess I'll see you at some point again.
And sure enough, we did see each other again at Transition 2.
Here we are on the course. We're currently at the end of the bike ride. Alex is about 2 minutes ahead of Lawrence, and a cracking race is going to ensue on the run. It's all to play for. The fans are ready. The boys are probably not ready, but it's going to happen anyway. Let's go. Vamos! Yes, yes, yes. Let's go! Come on, keep going. You're flying, buddy.
Ben was right. I was flying, but what they didn't know is I now had to do a half marathon without my inhaler. But things could have been worse.
I only noticed at this point that you'd stopped to do like some stretching.
Oh mate, I tried to get off my bike, lifted my leg over, that thigh went, got my other leg over, that thigh went, and I was just doubled over against the Ironman sign, close to tears.
Once we got on the drone.
While friends and family were like, "Go on, man!" I was like, "I can't move." And yeah, the flipping drone, just beautiful scene, just zooms in on me.
Rob staring on that one. Just standing 5 meters away. Yeah, I've got you, big boy.
Mate, at that point, I couldn't walk. So I was like, I think this might be the end of the journey. That luckily Franklin, our marathon friend, told me that actually walking through Crampton will get rid of it. And it was somewhat correct.
Yeah, it was. But yeah, we passed each other then. The first time doing 21 kilometers without an inhaler. So I'm asthmatic, for those of you that don't know. And yeah, it was just so difficult. I just had to keep like stopping to like get air in and stuff. Like my legs felt fine, to be honest. Like did a good cycle. I felt good. Didn't even want to necessarily get off the bike. No, I thought it was okay. I think the run initially, I was thinking it would be quite nice. It's 2 laps. You know, essentially do like 10k. I thought initially that would be quite good because I know exactly where I'm going to be on the second lap. But the reality is, you run past the finish line at the beginning of the first lap, and I remember thinking, okay, next time I'm here, I'm running down that red carpet and I'm finishing. But it was only like a few kilometers later, I realised in my head, I was like, hang on, I've got to run this whole lap again. So I'm not even going down the finish line next time. No, I was
waiting for that U-turn at the end to know you're even a quarter of the way.
Yeah.
It just didn't come for so long.
And with it being a 2-lap course, it meant we had to pass the finish line twice before we could finally run down the red carpet on the 3rd passing. And it's fair to say at that point, our bodies were ready for this to be over. Lawrence powered home to do a sub-2 half marathon, which was a huge shift considering the post-cycle cramp. I drove through around 15 minutes after, and it was at this point the floodgates opened and my emotions got the better of me. I remember looking up to the sky as I crossed the line thinking, I hope you enjoyed that one. That was for you. I hope my dad will be proud as I've come a long way in just under 6 months from never doing any of the disciplines prior to completing the first ever Ironman 70.3 in Valencia. A pretty huge effort even if I do say that myself. I want to keep fundraising and making these kinds of videos in his memory. Whilst the activities are fun on their own, it's important to remember the primary reason I've done all of this, and so at this point I would urge you, if you've enjoyed this video, to share whatever you can afford to put towards 2 great causes. It really doesn't matter how small a donation is, you're still helping the fight against cancer. On that note, Lawrence and I have discussed doing a full Ironman, but in order to get the motivation to do this, we wanted to set you, yes, you viewing this at home, a challenge.
Yeah, we thought we'd try and lay down a bit of a challenge to you guys at home for this one. Obviously, we're doing this in memory of my dad, so we're raising it for Pancreatic Cancer UK and Cancer Research UK. So we're currently at the time of filming this, I think £2,700 plus gift aid. So with the gift aid, it's just over 3,000, but we'll say 2,700. If we can get this to what, 3,500? 4?
Full for 4?
Full for 4. 4 for full. If we can get £4,000 raised by the end of May, by the end of May, £4,000 by the end of May, then we'll do a full Ironman and we'll take you along. Even better, we'll have secret cameras, etc., or permission before we get banned by our numbers.
Absolutely.
Then yeah, we'll go on and do a full Ironman. So there'll be a link in the description to the give wheel, which is a donation page if you'd like to give money. And yeah, if we can get to £4,000 before the end of May, signing up for a full Ironman.
Apparently so.
Yeah, I hope you guys have enjoyed the video. We've got some great footage. But my man, absolutely nailed it. He beat me this time, so I'm gonna have to get my revenge on the potentially full Ironman. But yeah, that's up to you guys to decide. But yeah, other than that, I think that's us checking out.
Absolutely.
And yeah, thanks for watching. Cheers. Bye.